The best places to retire. Here's where you should start, according to the Wall Street Journal. There's a lot of confusing info out there. You have to know which resources are worth your time. All right, ooh, look at that guy. That's South Dakota, right? Why those bison? They got hair on that side and no hair here. Isn't that the weirdest thing? Florida and South Dakota are among the top 5 choices in a ranking of being best states to retire, according to Bankrate.com. Look, I love bison. I don't love my dogs out there barking so much. Hold on just a second. All right, so we got April 10th, 2021 by Glenn Ruffinock. My wife and I would like to move when we retire. For better or worse, there's no shortage of articles and lists that identify, quote, best, unquote, destinations. Can you point us towards some resources and starting points that may be better than others? You're right, the amount of info out there can be overwhelming. The top locales today are all but a few to be certain by new favorites tomorrow. Few writers or editors are in the business of reprinting the same rankings year after year, exactly. And while some lists are based on analyzing reams of data, affordability, climate, access to healthcare, crime, others are more concerned with personality. In short, clarity is hard to come by. As an expert on retirement hotspots once told us, the more I dive into it, the more I realize how much guess by gosh suppositions, bias, and plain bull goes into this business. What falls are books and online resources we think helpful. All right, America's 100 Best Places to Retire, the 6th edition, looks at a range of destinations and groups, some in such categories as best college town, mountain towns, undiscovered towns, main street towns. The book was edited by Annette Fuller, a spinoff from a publication that might ring a bell, Where to Retire, the leading magazine in the field. The pandemic has forced it to suspend operations. All right, Sperling's Best Place, valuable website for anyone. I am on Sperling's myself, bestplaces.net. Retirement destinations, top states for American move to retire in 2020 based on percentage of all retirement moves from out of state. All right, so based on percentage moves of all retirement moves from out of state. Virginia, Florida, Wyoming, Pennsylvania. So I imagine this is people moving from New York, moving from Maryland, obviously Texas, Idaho, from California. I'm not sure about Hawaii, just people moving from Vermont. Probably, I don't know about that. New York again, Oregon, and Rhode Island, probably New York, and maybe Massachusetts. I'm not sure. Anyway, Best Cities for Successful Aging, published by the Milken Institute, ranks 381 U.S. metropolitan areas as such as healthcare, wellness, transportation, educational opportunities, things that demonstrate a community's commitment to older adults. The AARP Livability Index doesn't help you find a home. Rather, once you have identified several candidates, it can help you determine on a 0 to 100 scale how livable each city might be. Think of retiring St. Petersburg, Florida. The index gives the town a perfect 100 for housing choices, cost, choices, accessibility, but 37 for opportunity. All right. Then there's websites and tools that play matchmaker. You enter your needs and interests, and the tool suggests places to live. Sperling does one. MarketWatch does one. The Wall Street Journal and Zillow does one. Zillow, for instance, poses questions about what size town you prefer and whether access to entertainment is a priority. MarketWatch asks users to identify 5 must-haves for retirement destination. Medicare-rated 5-star hospital. Nice to have features say no state income tax. All right. Finally, one way to narrow your search is to pick the best state in which to retire. That's what I think you should do. According to Bankrate, the top 5 are Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, South Dakota, and Florida. All right, Missouri. I'm telling you, Missouri is becoming high on my list, man, for sure. I'm an East Coast guy, so I won't do it. But Missouri is fantastic. If I had my choice between Missouri and South Dakota, I'd choose Missouri. Just because Missouri has a lot of the same stuff as South Dakota, but they don't have an income tax. Yeah, they do have an income tax, but again, income tax at least our concerns. At the bottom, Maryland. I like Maryland. I mean, look, it's liberal. I'll never move there. It's too bad, man, because Maryland's a freaking awesome state. No other way around it. Maryland's fantastic. Other than agreeable weather, in which it ranks 18th best, the old line state fared poorly in almost every other category. I don't know about that. All right, so good stuff, man. I'll put a link to this in the show notes. Let's see if we got any comments on here. I always like looking at comments. Number one consideration, make sure the location is not in a blue city or blue state, 100%. Absolutely. Can't believe they missed out on listing Phoenix and Tucson as ideal places to retire. All right. Another Super Bowl here is played in 2 years. Sure, it gets hot in the summer, but every place is air conditioning. All right. I live in Scottsdale, so I get you. But in all fairness, you should have mentioned the small. Just because they have a Super Bowl there, wow. I mean, just because you spent all that tax dollars for another stadium to draw them is crazy, man. I don't understand the mindset of people moving to a total new place when they retire. They're leaving their friends, connections, their community, their doctors. I understand travel, but I don't understand your leaving your community unless you never invested in it. No, I don't think that's true. I'll be retiring in a couple years, says Rodney. We don't have a lot of friends in this area. Acquaintances are really more than friendships. We are moved to be near family. Exactly. Yep. We live in Chicago. All you mentioned is here for us as well. On a bad Chicago day, more frequent than not, I'm Googling condos in Florida. That's not going to, okay. Many of the best places to retire are not in the U.S. The mountain states, where I moved from New Jersey 20 years ago, have the best climate. No hurricanes, nor tornadoes, earthquakes, dry, clear mountain air, and I agree with that. And just outside the largest cities and extremely low cost of living, my mortgage and property taxes combined are less than my sister's property tax in New Jersey. Yeah, because New Jersey's nuts. Good to know that mountain states are better than the gardens. Well, everyone knows that. And there are other questions. Why go? If you're running to something, that's a good thing. If you're running away from something, all right. No, we already talked about that. More interested in full retirement venues myself. If global warming remains a thing, Canada might become almost livable. Oh boy, what does he got over there? Virginia, yeah, Virginia, man. I love Virginia. Ranking location for retirement is completely pointless exercise because no people to. All right. My number one destination for retirement is who had the less masks. That's literally where I'm looking at. So who, now obviously I'm only 50. I still got 7 years before we can retire. But it won't be in Fulton County, Georgia. Where were the masks the least used? That's my number one way to look at retirement. I'm just telling you right now. Because that will give you a gauge of the free-minded people there. And, at the end of the day, you can limit your taxes. You can limit your property tax by having a smaller house. You can limit your income taxes by just doing some strategic planning. Sales tax not so much, but if you go out there and grow your own food and stuff like that, it's the freedom that is inherent in living in a desirable community that I need. And I think a lot of you do too. All right, love to hear your thoughts. We'll see you.